Okay, I'm going live. We'll see. I'm not going to start until I know you guys can hear me. So, and my dog is barking, so I might have to go get after him for a second. So hang on, let me make sure you guys can hear me. It says we're live. I think you can hear me. Oh, I'm hoping so. Let me double check. I hate to start if you can't hear me. Okay, give me just 1 second. I'm going to go make sure my dog isn't barking, and then we'll get started. Okay, perfect. Sorry, you guys. My dog is being naughty today. Okay, I am so excited about today's call. Let me share my screen. Make sure you guys can see my screen. And then we will get going. I'm really excited about today's call. So let me make sure you guys can see what I see. Sorry, I always worry that I'm going to do this like live call and nobody can see it, nobody can hear me, and then what a waste of time, right? Okay, perfect, we can go. So I may have to let my dog out in a few minutes because he's being wild and crazy, but anyway, I am so excited about today's call because I have been in the social media realm when it comes to business for about going on 4 years now. And when I first started, it was so scary. It was so daunting. It was so like overwhelming, right? There just seemed to be so much. And social media is such a change. It's a constant change. Like you can never get comfortable with social media because you'll be behind the times. It's kind of like computers, how computers become obsolete the day you buy them because some new technology comes out or something new, is available. And so social media used to be really scary to me. I wasn't sure, how to like navigate through it. What was the best option? So many people were telling me so many different things. And I'm going to be honest and real with you guys. When I first started, I remember one of my first questions I asked my mentor when I started in network marketing and social media. I was like, is there a YouTube video on how to make YouTube videos? Because I was just so nervous about messing up, about being wrong, about not doing it correctly. And my first thing that I want to tell you is you guys have to start, okay? Like, you have to start somewhere. I know I'm a perfectionist. I'm a recovering perfectionist. And I was the kind of person that would Google how to do, YouTube videos on how to do YouTube videos. Because I didn't want to mess up. Because I didn't want to be wrong. I didn't want to mess up. I didn't want to say the wrong things. I didn't want to stutter on a video. And I would spend time just perfecting things. It's kind of like, people decide to create a business and so they sit down and they organize their desk out just perfectly, right? They have their papers, their pencils, everything set up perfectly, but it takes them months to do that and they don't just start. So you guys just need to commit. If you're going to run your business, if you're wanting to run your business via social media, you have to commit. You have to decide that you're going to do this. Hold on just 1 second. I'm letting my dog out. Does anyone want a dog? Because I think I'm going to sell him. Okay, so I have my top 10 tips for starting out on social media 101. If you've been in social media before, this is just going to be a good refresher course for you. Maybe there'll be things that you didn't know. Maybe it's things you did know but you forgot. And then this is also going to be great for those who are just starting out who were like me that weren't sure where to start, where to begin, what to do. So I'm going to give you guys my top tips for that. I'm going to try and go as quickly as possible so you guys, I try to keep these calls about 30 to 40 minutes. So, plus my kids, mom life. Okay, so number 1, public pages versus private pages. So I know a lot of people keep their pages private, right? Because we don't want a bunch of psychos seeing our pages. We don't want a bunch of people seeing we want to keep our lives private, and we don't want this to broadcast this to the world. But I'm going to tell you that if you're wanting to run your business through social media, you're going to want to make your page public. You're going to want friends of friends of friends to be able to see your page so that you can expand your market. If you're someone who's worried about your kids being, exploited or something like that, I have many friends who have built their businesses without showing their kids' face. I personally share my kids. And I try to do it in a way that isn't, obviously I don't take like bathtub pictures and share them or anything like that. But I am under, this is my own personal beliefs, but I feel like bad things happen all the time, right? And we shouldn't be naive and we shouldn't, be careless. But at the same time, I'm not someone who wants to live my life inside of a bubble. And I'm not someone who wants to live in fear all the time. And so I personally share my kids. Now I don't share my daughter like where she goes to school exactly. I don't share who her teacher is. I don't share all of that information. But I do share stories about my kids. I share how cute they are, and I share, because they're part of my life. So the reason you want a public page versus a private page is because if you create a post and say it's this really incredible post, right? It's something that people somehow it catches wind with other people and they're all excited about it and they want to share it. If you're a private page, they can't share what you said. And so now you've limited your market to just those people you are friends with, which isn't a bad thing. And it doesn't mean it won't grow and your business won't grow. It will just grow slower. Many of my friends are friends of friends of friends, right? Those people, and I've built relationships with them privately in messages. I don't obviously add people who are crazy that's come across, scary or whatever. Like I block people if I don't feel comfortable adding them. There is no shame in blocking people if you feel that you don't want them to see. I have kind of a delicate situation, whereas my real father, my biological father, his family created quite a bit of drama with me after I got married. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but I just have them blocked for my comfort, right? So I don't exist to them on Facebook. So just because your page is public doesn't mean that you can't hide yourself from specific people. So if you're wanting to build your business, I really recommend making a public page versus a private page. Number 2, remember that content is key. So you want to strategically make posts. Don't just randomly post to post. When I first started out creating a business on social media, I sat down and I mapped out my week, sort of. I didn't write it I didn't map it down so it was so strict that I didn't have room for growth. But every Sunday I would sit down and I would say, okay, what does this week look like? Okay, I know we're going to the zoo on Thursday. So Thursday at noon, I'm going to do a post about the zoo and talk about my kids and about the freedom of going to the zoo. And I give myself an outline of posting. I sit there and I go, okay, on Sunday night, I'm going to do a secret opportunity post because I know Sunday night is a very good time to talk about business. People are on social media gearing up for the week ahead, and everyone's scrolling Facebook. It's a very high time in the social media realm to post. But content is key. Don't just post to post. Because I know a lot of people get stuck in this rut of, okay, you have to post 3 to 5 times a day to get your post seen, and that's not the case necessarily. Do you want to show up consistently and have content that is valuable? Absolutely. If you're not sure how to do posts that contain a lot of value, I would recommend looking at the book Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. He gives actual real life examples of posts that are great posts with value and posts that are not so valuable. And so you're going to want to make sure that 80% of your posts are about valuable content. You need to ask yourself, does what I post add value? Or am I just posting to post? Share pieces of your story. Be vulnerable. You don't have to give your whole life story in one post, but one of the things that I do early in the morning before I get out of bed. I believe in God. If you don't believe in God, maybe you believe in the universe, higher power, whatever it is. I always ask, please give me direction in what I should post today. And then I let it kind of sit there, and I let it simmer, and I think about, what is it someone might need to hear from me today? And sometimes it's things that are very scary. It's a vulnerable post about, maybe my anxiety, or maybe it's about, my kids not being as well behaved as they should, or whatever it is. But I listen to that, and I listen to my inner creativity, and I create content around, those things. One of the biggest things I want to stress is zero negativity. So we all have bad days, right? We all have days that are just terrible, horrible, no good, very bad days. Days where we want to sell our kids, we want to run away to the zoo, whatever it is. We all have bad days. But you need to stand out in the social media realm, and the way you're going to do that is putting a positive spin on your bad day. Finding that silver lining. Making sure that what you post isn't, because if you scroll your newsfeed, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody they're scrolling through, and it's negative, 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 right? I'm leaving my husband, politics, I don't know. There's just so much negativity about it. And so if you can be that positive light, people are going to pay attention, and they're going to go, why is she, why is she different? What is she doing? What is in her life that is making her see this world in a different way, in a different perspective? So content is key. Now, you don't have to have, maybe you feel like you're not the greatest writer. Maybe you feel like you're not. That's okay. This has to be about you. You're attracting people who are like you. Some people don't like to read a lot of words. They like to hear videos. Some people, and if that's you, then you create videos because you know that that's your market. But again, just remember, your content is king. Don't just post to post. Don't be sporadic about it. I know a lot of people like to share stuff. I think it's fine to share every once in a while, but remember, now your page is more of a business style. I mean, not a business style, but it's more, you're strategic about your posts. Okay. Number 3, make it a reality show. I don't know about you guys, but I am a secret closet Kardashian lover. I love the Kardashians. Why do I love the Kardashians? Because as much as they have, drama swirling around them all the time, people tune in all the time to watch them, right? People know who they are, even if they haven't watched their show, and it's because they share their lives 100%. And so that's what you need to do. You need to know the 80-20 rule. You need to make it 80% about your life and only 20% about your business. Because the 80% that's about your life is what's going to snag people in. People don't want robots. They like to follow people. People follow people. That's why people who have, not really any credentials in this entire world become big names on social media, because they have a personality, they have a presence, and they show up and they make it a reality show every single day for people to follow. You need to know the times to post. So like I talked about with the content is king and how you have strategic posts, you also need to know when to post. One of the things I did when I first started out is I trained my audience to know what time I was showing up. I posted every day for 2 years at 8, noon, and 6 p.m. Why 8, noon, and 6? Because those are breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Those are meal times. Meal times, people are, sadly, I make my kids I make my husband and I put our phones away at dinner time so we can have a good conversation. But meal times is when most people scroll the internet. Most times when they scroll Facebook and social media. And so I trained my audience to know that they could always look for a post at 8, noon, and 6. And it was funny because on Saturdays and Sundays, I only posted 1 or 2 times a day. And they knew that. I knew they knew that because I used to do a selfie on Sundays with my family with an inspirational quote. And one Sunday I missed it. And I had messages pouring into my inbox asking me, where are you? Or is everything okay? Is your family okay? And it's because I trained, people got used to that being consistent, that they realized and noticed that I was missing on a Sunday and they were worried about me and my family. So you need to train your audience. Once you get them trained, you can kind of get away with throwing them in at different times, because I don't do it at 8, noon, and 6 anymore. I actually just make it a point to do one 1 to 2 posts a day that are very jam-packed full of value, but I had to train my audience. I also had to train my audience on reading longer posts. So you guys know this. Barney's husband makes fun of me because I write really long posts. You guys probably know this. When I first started out, they were not long. But I slowly started to lengthen them, and people kept reading them because they knew what I was doing was packing value in there. They knew I was packing humor. I was putting my personality into it. It wasn't a generic post. It was something from my heart. But you kind of have to train people to read them, because if you're someone who's been a ghost on social media for years and years and years and only post maybe a couple times a year of family vacation, and now all of a sudden you throw up this big long novel, people may not read it because it's different to them, and they're like, wait, what is this? It kind of throws up a red flag. And so you kind of have to slowly work your way, work people into who you are, and you're kind of rebranding yourself on social media. Even though you're not changing who you are, your social media has been one way for so long that now you're adding stuff in there, and it's kind of throwing people off a little bit. And so you have to, really let them warm up to what you're doing. So make it a reality show. Show the highs and the lows of your life. I have a post that I'm doing today about how I made a matching game with the socks for my kids. I don't like to match socks, so I'm having my kids think it's a game, and they're playing with that. That's what I'm doing. That's my humor. That's my life, and that's my reality show. And so I'm sharing with them the good, the bad, the ugly, the blessed. Okay, number 4. Pick 5 topics that describe your life. So you're like, okay, great. I need to post on social media consistently. I need to know that content is king, that I don't even know where to start with posts. You need to pick 5 topics that describe your life. For example, you could do faith, inspirational, family, funny, adventure and nature, and mom life. There's, those are pretty much my 5. I like to talk about my inspirational quotes, and I like to inspire other people. I like to talk about my family, and a lot of people love my family. And it's because my kids have grown up in the social media world, and so other people know my kids. When I go to conventions, people ask me about them by their name because they know them. They know the funny stories that they've told. They know the quirks that my kids have. I like to talk about, I like to be funny. And maybe it's not your cup of tea, and your humor is never going to be 100% everybody's cup of tea. But I like humor. I like funny things. I also like adventure and going out in nature, and I like to talk about that. And also mom life, the good, the bad. So pick 5 topics that describe your life. I can't pick them for you. I recommend not taking mine unless they completely 100% relate to you, because every single one of us is an individual. We all have, and that's the neat thing about network marketing and social media. We get to be ourselves and find people who are exactly like us. We get to attract, our vibe gets to attract our tribe. And different parts, I look at our team and I'm like, none of us are identical, but we all have some way, somehow. There's something that connects us in our interests. But you need to pick 5 topics that describe your life and then rotate posting about those. When you sit down on Sunday to map out your content, you look at those 5 subjects and you say, okay, I'm going to talk about mom life here, and I'm going to talk about this here, and you kind of pencil it in. Now, that doesn't mean it's concrete, because life happens, and you don't want to say, oh, this would be a really great post, but I said I was going to post about this today, so I guess that'll just have to wait. If creativity comes to you, if inspiration smacks you against the head, you use it. You go with it. Because there's a book out there called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She's the writer of Eat, Pray, Love. And she talks about creativity and how creativity can come to people. And if that person doesn't take it and run with it, it will find another person to go through, another avenue, because it's a message that needs to be heard. She talks about Eat, Pray, Love, and how she was at a book signing once, and a lady walked up really angry at her and said, I am so mad that you stole my story. And she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, this is my story. But the difference between Elizabeth Gilbert and the lady who was mad is Elizabeth Gilbert put pen to paper, and she put it, she took that thought and she actually made it happen. She turned it into action. And so you want to do the same thing. When a thought comes into your mind, don't run away from it. Write it down and then, act on it. So pick 5 topics that describe your life. Make sure that they are really well-rounded and that they really describe who you are. Next, be consistent. This one I cannot stress enough. You have to be consistent. You have to show up every single day. This is true in your on your personal Facebook page. This is true if you're running a group. You have to be consistent. Consistent people, most human beings like schedule. They like consistency. They like knowing what the day holds for them. They like knowing, what the day ahead looks like. And so you guys have to be a consistent factor in their lives. I'm going to tell you this right here, right now. When I was in my previous business, the people who saw success versus the people who didn't were the people who were consistent. Not only did they see success because of the compound effect, which means, small steps every single day add up to big things, but also other people trusted them more because they were consistent. Because consistency looks like reliability. If you're consistent, people go, okay, I can rely on her. I know she shows up on social media every day, so if I have a question, I know I can go to her and she will respond because she is consistent. She shows up every day. I know she's here. Does that mean you can't take a vacation? Absolutely not. Do you have to be mindful when you're taking a vacation to let your followers know, hey guys, I'm going to be off the grid for a couple days, but know that my inbox, I will be responding to my inbox as soon as I can. You may feel silly doing that your first time because you're like, oh my gosh, really? I don't really have that many messages popping up in my inbox, or really nobody cares, but they do care. And that shows how serious you are. That is responsibility. That is taking this and making it a business and showing up consistently. And again, if you map out your posts and you map out what you're going to say, then you're not stressed about posting for the day because you got it. Okay, today I'm going to be talking about this. Today I'm going to be talking about that. Schedule your groups out the same way. Me, this week, I'm running a skin sin series, which means every day I'm giving them a skin sin that I found through Pinterest. It doesn't have to be complicated. You guys can always come to me if you need help with content, if you need help with posting, and we can sit down together and map it out until you feel confident enough to do it yourself, but you have to be consistent. Number 6, you have to engage with your audience. So if you want people to like and comment and engage with you on social media, you have to do the same with other people. Take 10 minutes out of your day, sit down. I know you shouldn't scroll the newsfeed a whole lot, but this is 10 minutes. I'm telling you, you have to scroll the newsfeed and you have to be strategic about it. You have to engage with your audience. You need to go through and like people's posts. You need to go through and comment and talk to people and get that going, because when you do that, not only is that you being genuine and that is you being personable, you're getting social on social media, but also that ups the engagement. That on Facebook. Facebook has crazy algorithms, which I could talk about all day long. I love algorithms. I'm kind of a nerd that way. But algorithms, Facebook sees that you're interacting with this person, they're going to put your posts up in their newsfeed more. If you go to your Facebook friends list and you see, it used to be alphabetical, which I love because I'm OCD. I love that it's organized, but it's no longer alphabet. It's no longer alphabetized, right? When you go to your Facebook friends list, it is random names. The reason it is random names is those names at the top of your friends list are the people that you're engaging with the most. So I encourage you to scroll down to the bottom of your list, all the way down to the bottom, and click on some of those people's pages and go and go and like some of their content, or comment on a post, because somehow, some way, if you have a bunch of friends on Facebook, it's going to get bumped down. And there may be people bumped down that you're like, oh my gosh, how did we lose contact? We were we used to communicate so much through social media. So go through those and bump those up again and start talking with people that somehow slipped through the cracks. Okay, number 7, never ever share your link publicly. Never, ever, ever share your link publicly. You know what I'm talking about. Your secret direct link, never post it in a Facebook post, never put it in a comment section. That is something that you send privately to someone who is interested in this product. But one of the salesiest, sleaziest, scammiest things you can do is just share your secret direct link and say, hey guys, I'm selling Seacret now. You should buy from me. Click the link below. Number one, you know that the Seacret, there are a few different ways to purchase from Seacret. And if someone clicks that link and goes to your site without asking you information, they're going to click on the retail, right? Which we know is 60% more than if you become a VIP. And they're going to look at that price, and some of those people may want to throw up a little bit, right? Because we know becoming a VIP is the way to go. So you never want to share that link. Also, Facebook doesn't like links, especially external links, and they're not going to bump that post up. If you want to share a link, I've done this before. If you're wanting to get people into your group, take the link to your Facebook group and put it in the comments of one of your posts. So maybe you talked about, like last night, I talked about my mom wearing the Seacret mascara and how much she loves it. Today, I'm going to go back in and throw my Facebook group link into the comment section. Facebook likes group links because it's Facebook, but I like to hide it in a comment just because it doesn't look salesy. It doesn't look scammy. It doesn't look like I'm just out to get people. It's more professional to me. But never, ever, 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 ever share your link publicly. Number 8, remember that you are speaking to newbies. So I think sometimes we get caught up and we start talking about our products and we don't realize that most of the people that are following us don't know what we're talking about. They don't speak Seacret lingo. They don't know about the mud mask. They don't know why Seacret is special. They also don't know what we're talking about. So you have to remember and think about, okay, if I were someone who was brand new to hearing about Seacret, would this make sense to me? Or would I blow it off because I have no idea what we're talking about? So generic posts like playing in the mud today, that makes people don't understand what you're talking about. Playing in the mud? Okay, they think you're really, really playing in the mud. So you kind of have to give them a little more information without throwing up secret information on them. Yeah, there's kind of this balance. But also, remember that you're speaking to noobs as far as your story. Never feel like you're running out of content and never feel like you've told your story too many times. Because your social media is a revolving door of people. You should be consistently adding new friends to social media every single day. And so therefore, those people have not heard your story yet. So don't be afraid to take your story, maybe revamp it a little bit so that it's different lingo, maybe it's a different spin on your story, but never feel like you've ran out of content. Because again, they're newbies. They haven't seen it before. And even if they aren't new friends, maybe they've been bumped up into your newsfeed and they've missed a bunch of your posts. So remember you're speaking to newbies. Remember that, it's okay to repurpose your content. Number 9, we're almost done, I promise. Be you. This is my all-time favorite one. Be you. Be the face of your business. It's really tempting to use stock images, right? We love stock images because they're beautiful, they're professional, but you are the face of your business. You're the brand. You're the person that they see. They're following you. And so you need to get yourself up in their face. So, a mud mask photo is great. What's even better is a photo of you wearing the mud mask and talking about why you like it. Use your personality. Be different than everybody else. Share your sense of humor. Stop trying to be everyone's cup of tea and just own the fact that you are unique and you are awesome and that what you have to offer this world is, something that nobody else can duplicate. So you have to be the face of your business. Does that mean you have to post a selfie every single day? Absolutely not. You really do not have to. But share your life, share your story. But on the flip side of it, don't be ashamed to share a selfie every day if it contains value. I have a friend, I will not call her out. She is not a secret agent, but she posts selfies, and they're always little, whenever she posts it, it's just kind of like, curly hair, don't care. Okay, is that valuable? No, not really. Actually, not at all, right? So you have to make sure if you're posting a selfie, if you're posting something, you've got to give value every single time, whether it's a laugh, whether it's an inspiration, whether it's, whatever. You need to make sure that it's not just a waste of a post. So be you. Don't be afraid to be yourself, to share your quirks, to share your face and to just really step out into the spotlight with it. Number 10, this is another one that is really hard for people. Put on your blinders and don't follow other agents. So I want you to look at, right now you're probably really new to this, and Seacret is pretty new to the social media realm, but I want you to put your blinders on. I don't want you to follow a bunch of other agents. Why? Because what happens here is if you start following a bunch of agents, you start to scroll your newsfeed, all you see is other agents. Here's the kicker, you guys. Agents are already agents. They're not looking for a team to sign up with. They're not looking for someone to purchase from. They've already purchased. They're already agents. What you need to fill your newsfeed with is potential clients, potential agents, potential people that you have the opportunity to work with. The other reason you shouldn't follow other agents is because it creates this comparison game, right? We start to compare ourselves. We start to see what other so-and-so is doing, and all of a sudden that clouds our own creativity because we see that so-and-so did this post, and it's incredible, and maybe I should do this post too. Because success leaves clues, right? Well, it does leave clues, but at the same time, what this person did, the reason it worked for them is because it was true to who they were. It was true to them, their personality. It was true to themselves. If you take it and try to duplicate that, and it isn't who you are, you're not going to see success from it. So I just encourage you guys not to follow other agents, to not play this comparison game, to put your blinders on, allow your own creativity to flow, and stop worrying about what other people are doing. Because what other people are doing, if you're paying attention to that, you're just missing out on time that you could be spending on building your own personal business. Don't worry about them. I think that is so valuable and so key because for so long I made that mistake in my first business. I was like, okay, well, these people are seeing success and they're doing things this way. And I tried to be very, very professional. And I tried to be, when I did videos, I was very business-like. I didn't ever, I sing when I talk. And when I was doing these videos, I wouldn't sing when I would talk. And I was very robotic because it wasn't me. And so you don't follow other agents. Stop trying to be somebody that you're not and stop worrying, about what other people are doing because it's none of your business. If you can stay true to who you are, you're going to see success. So the last one that I have is keep the social in social media. So all of these tips are about how to stay connected, the tips of social media one-on-one. It's pretty basic, right? We can go into how to run groups later on, but this I feel like is a very good way to start, but you've got to keep the social in social media. Stop overthinking it. Stop worrying about your business, because if you can start to just slowly open up and let go on social media, you're going to see your business grow. You're going to see that people start to relate to you because you posted about, when your daughter cut her hair when you were in the shower into a mullet, right? That happened to me. And I had a lot of women reach out to me and say, oh my gosh, I've been there, I know. And I've created friendships and relationships. And they've started to trust me. And when they start to build trust with you, because you've been social, you've been a real, genuine human being with them, they start to trust you, right? And then when you say, hey, I have this product or I have this opportunity, they will list it because they respect you. Does that mean they'll join you or that they'll purchase? Not necessarily, but that's okay because you've built a friendship, you've built a relationship, and they're willing to listen to you. And they won't think you're salesy and they won't think you're sleazy because you've been this person who's genuine, who's raw, who's real, who they admire and they respect. And this will create loyalty. And eventually, they probably will, come to you and ask you for your advice on things. They'll ask you, what can I do for, this skin condition? Is there a way that, I can make an income with this? Do you think I could do this? So start being social on social media. Be genuine. Make sure that you're really engaging with people. And you're going to see major success. So if you guys have any question, feel free to jump into our group and ask me questions. I don't have the comments turned on, I don't think. I actually don't know how to do that. But I want to thank you guys for jumping on. I hope this is helpful. Again, if you have any questions when it comes to, social media and all that fun stuff, please do not ever hesitate to reach out to me. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day.